On the last episode of Canary Wharf.
Did you know that Jason was going to bankroll my company to buy out Belgrade Broadcasting?
Yes, I've heard.
You'd heard. Of course you bloody heard. You were spying on me at the time. Well, I wonder if you'd done the same to me. You know, made me all those promises and then left me in the lurch.
Well, could easily have done. You know, I'm not sure Anne is wise dealing with it on her own. I think we should do it together.
I'm not sure it's worth doing it at all. After all, he's hardly going to pay out £400 million out of the goodness of his heart, is he? I mean, what hold she got over him to make him pay?
What indeed?
Yeah, well, I've only just been able to stay ahead of the game, I can tell you. I think I've ridden my luck too far. About 3 days? Yeah, it's a shame, but can't afford to do otherwise, can we? After this, though, I never want to hear about copper futures again. What are you doing going around listening to people's private conversations for?
We're not trying to disturb you, Jason, but we do need to talk to you.
Oh, yeah? What about?
About the messages that Van Dorn's been sending you. Look, we just didn't want our relationship to get in the way.
Our relationship? What? Yours and mine, or yours and his?
The messages you're receiving are of vital importance. We can't let our personal differences get in the way.
Personal differences? Sneaking behind my back, sleeping with my girl. Personal differences.
Jason, this is important. Look, I'm really sorry about the way things have turned out, but we have to carry on. We've got to know what those messages are. We might have a disaster on our hands.
You've got to be kidding. Just carry on as though nothing's happened. Chantal, I owe you nothing. I wouldn't pass on a message that you were on fire. And if there's a disaster coming this way, well, better just brace yourselves.
You don't understand.
Oh, I think I understand all too well.
Look, Jason, I'm really sorry.
No, you're not sorry now, but you will be.
Look, we can't fight like this. This is of vital importance. Our lives might be at stake.
When have you ever cared about anybody except yourself?
Look, this is my fault, Jason. Blame me, not
Oh, I will, mate. Don't you worry about that. Just like to get in my way. I've got a couple of things I've got to do.
Look, you have to understand what is likely to happen if you don't pass us these messages.
And you have to understand what will happen if you don't get out of my way. We're not talking future disasters here, mate.
I'm sorry. I've blown it for you.
It's not your fault. I should never have let it happen.
What? You think our affair's wrong?
No. I mean, I should never have put Jason on the spot like that. It was a mistake.
No, but he has to understand.
I think he does understand. He's just got something else on his mind. Something so all-consuming that he may not realize quite yet what's happening to Jason. When he does, I just hope it's not too late for all of us.
Shit, you oaf. You trying to kill someone?
Believe me, if I killed you, it wouldn't be an accident.
Very quick. For you. Sure you'll think of something better, though, in 10 minutes. Would you like me to wait?
No, life's too short to match wits with you.
Giving up already.
Not too easy. Oh, apparently, Your real name isn't Claudia Zimmer.
No, of course it isn't. That is my adopted name.
Do you know what the real one was?
No, and neither do you.
Shall I tell you? Deirdre.
No, it wasn't.
Deirdre O'Boyle, to be exact.
No. How would you know?
I just do.
You come back! Are you off to meet Michael again? Oh, yes. I heard you arranging secret assignations with Michael Smale
When?
a couple of nights ago. You were probably the last person to see him, actually, before he disappeared.
I can assure you he came to no harm.
Harm? What are you talking about?
Pardon?
You said anything about harm? He's run off to the Cayman Islands.
Just a figure of speech.
Right. Well, can't waste my time matching wits with you. Life's too short. Oi, you! Come right back here.
Are you addressing me?
Yes, I am. Oh, Boyle, isn't it?
God's sake, keep your voice down. Why do you have to shout all the time?
Oh, my God, it's true, isn't it?
My name is Andrea Cavendish. I had it changed by deed poll over 20 years ago. Who told you about?
Oh, Boyle? Oh, everybody in the office knows about that. You're the laughing stock.
Well, it'll be a cold day in hell when I worry about office gossip.
What I'm worried about, the rest of it. I take it that's true, too.
What is?
My first name? Deirdre. Deirdre O'Boyle?
Well, yes, seemed a nice name at the time. I had a very good friend called Deirdre Summers. She went to Australia, actually.
That's so typical of you. Send a child out into the world with a name like that. You're such a selfish cow.
Steady on. It's not that bad. Thousands of people are called Deirdre.
I'm going to get even with you for this. Just you wait and see. I'll make you wish I'd never been born.
Well, that won't be hard. Think yourself lucky. I had a friend called Gertrude.
Where's Sarah?
She hasn't come in yet.
Could you ask her to call me when she gets back?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't get the chance to thank you for what you said.
For standing by you. Yeah, well, it was the right thing to do.
That little homily, loyal, trustworthy, true. Appreciated that.
I thought about what you'd said. It just came out. When Andrea said you were a traitor. It wasn't fair.
Good. Yeah. Right, well, I went to see your mother, you know.
Did you?
Yeah, we're on speaking terms, sort of.
Well, that's great. How did that happen?
Oh, well, when I got the sack, I thought it was all silly that it should end like that. My marriage should be broken up because I was spending too much time at work.
When work didn't want you anyway.
Something like that, yeah.
Dad, I'm really glad for you. I'm so happy.
Oh, steady on. People will talk.
So, when are you going to see her again?
Tomorrow?
Really? And, will you be moving back home?
Well, early days for that. Maybe if things go that way. We will, yeah. Well, perhaps.
But everything in the garden's rosy.
Not quite rosy, but promising. We'll see.
Isn't there some way around this? Can't we bypass Jason? Cut out the middleman, like you said.
It's easier said than done. Apart from allowing me access to Millie's room when nobody else could get in, Van Dorn's shown no inclination to deal with me.
So we're stuck with Jason?
Yeah, and if he refuses to cooperate, then we're stuck where we are.
Well, what does it matter? I mean, if we get rid of Van Dorn, it's not the end of the world, is it?
Chantal, we don't know what we're dealing with. Now, they've definitely come to our dimension for some purpose, that's clear. It's unlikely they're going to go back empty-handed.
Well, what on earth can I want?
You've asked me this before, and like I said, I don't know. But whatever it is, I suspect they will stop at nothing to get what they want, even if we refuse to cooperate.
So it's true then?
What is?
Well, what I said to Jason. This is a matter of life and death.
Very likely. But whose? Mine? Yours? All of ours? Don't worry. Maybe it's not so bad.
What, being dead?
Well, you don't have to say that. I mean, nobody's dead yet.
They will be. Jason won't see reason. Oh, you too? He might not speak to us, but he might speak to someone else.
It's true. Who was his best friend?
Well, I was, really. I didn't really have any. He was a bit of a loner.
Lily, you got on all right with Jason, didn't you?
Yeah, I suppose I did, really. Well, you were the only one he didn't have a fight with. Now, this is true. It's worth a try. Excuse me. What's worth a try? Millie, this is a matter of life and death.
You know, things will be a lot easier from now on. I mean, you're a lot less tense than you used to be. You were insufferable.
Was I?
Yes. Vile temper, miserable, always snapping at people.
But you loved me anyway.
No. In fact, I hated you. Everybody did.
Right. Well, if things go on as they are doing, I won't have to worry about overwork much longer.
Is it true the company's really in trouble, then?
Yep. Not enough money to meet the commitments. If something doesn't turn up by the new year, it'll be out of business altogether.
Oh, well. Then at least you'll be able to devote more time to your family.
Look on the bright side, eh?
Yeah. Things can only get better.
I'm pretty certain they can't get any worse.
I need some clear indications. I need some assurance that I can get out of this book. That's frankly not my fault.
Jason!
Where's everybody sneaking around today?
I wasn't sneaking, I was just walking. Look, about these messages.
Yeah? What about them?
Well, they're really important, the ones you get in your head. You've got to share them with us.
With us? Have you been talking to Ryan and Chantal?
Well,
Well?
Yes, but it's nothing to do with them. Look, it's not for their benefit. We're all bothered about what's happening, Jason. Max, Sarah, Jenny.
I really don't care, Millie.
Look, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you being so selfish?
It's just a load of mumbo-jumbo, Mill.
Well, it might be mumbo-jumbo, but it's true that you get these headaches, isn't it?
Right.
Right. And then when you start writing with Belgrave's pen, the headaches suddenly disappear.
Right.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? You're going to not write out of spite, and then just take aspirin for the rest of your life?
No, of course not. You're right, okay, I'll write them down, but I don't want to give them any satisfaction.
Okay. Well, I'll take the messages and I'll do what has to be done with them.
Okay, I'll give them to you, but you tell them to keep away from me, all right? I can't handle people creeping about all the time.
Okay. I'll do that. Thanks, Jess.
You know, I'm glad we're having this chat, Dad. Because there's something I want to tell you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Matthew's been on at me to move in with him.
And you want me to put the frighteners on him, do you?
No. Just wanted to tell you that I'm inclined to accept.
You what?
Aren't you happy for me?
Look here, young lady.
Oh, great. You know, I had hoped for a better reaction. But no, still the same old Daddy. I bet Mummy will be glad when I tell her.
No, I don't care if Mummy does a roly-poly. I'm not having it.
Daddy, I'm 18 years old. You don't really have a say in the matter. No, I'm just telling you out of courtesy.
You're 17, aren't you? Anyway, what do you mean I don't have a say? I'm your father.
Yes, but I happen to live in my own flat. I've got my own job. You know, I can drink in a pub, drive a car. I can vote. You know, and if I want to, I can get shacked up. You and Mummy were.
Me and Mummy were what?
Shacked up. When Mummy was 18? No, when she was 17, actually.
That was different. It was the 60s. Anyway, we always knew we were going to get married.
So, perhaps me and Matthew will get married.
What? Twinkle Toes?
Twinkle Toes? Dad, what is wrong with him?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Except that he's a wimp and an idiot, that's all.
Dad, how dare you? He's no such thing.
Looks like Matthew and I are going to have another of our little chats.
What, like when he threatened to throw him in the dock?
Got it in one.
Sit down. Right. I do not want you going anywhere near him. It is not fair to threaten him. Besides, he doesn't even know yet.
What, he doesn't know you're going to move in with him?
No, he's been asking me for weeks, and I've always said no. Next time he asks, I think I'll say yes. And don't you dare interfere. You know, I thought this might be a good time to discuss this with you. What with you telling me about you moving back in with Mummy?
Perhaps.
Okay, perhaps moving back in with Mummy. But no, there's never a good time to have an ordinary conversation with you. All you're interested in is work and yourself.
Matthew with 2 T's, Wargrave.
Dad!
All right, all right. Doesn't seem as if there's much I can do about it, does it? What about that nice new age traveller with a bus? Do you ever see him these days?
Daddy!
Father-in-law, little Lord Fauntleroy. What a fit-up.
Millie, there you are. Jason's had one of his headaches. He really needs to see you.
Well, where is he?
This way. Don't understand it. He was here a minute ago.
What's this?
That's one of those messages from the sailors. What does it say? I've never seen one before.
We are the light of Orion, to which 66 will return, delivered by the grace of God and the celestial navigation of Johann van Doorn.
Sounds like something Jenny would write.
Ryan will be able to sort it out. Let's go and find him. Oh, they said you'd be here. Look, we've got this.
What is it?
It's our friend Van Doorn.
Delivered by the grace of God and the celestial navigation of Johann van Doorn. It's the Bosphorus.
Yes, listen to this. The sailor's prayer of thanksgiving for safe return. Be now said, all souls these long years have feared.
What does that mean?
And what's the light of Orion?
Of course. I've been looking in the wrong dimension.
What?
The light in the sky. The UFO that Max and Sarah saw. That was in the evening, in the east. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, out of Max's window.
And the constellation of Orion? Orion stands in the east.
So what's your point?
Do you see, Chantal?
God. You think it's them?
I'm certain of it.
Oh, what's them?
The light in the sky, the Bosphorus, they're one and the self-same thing. It's obvious.
So, you think that the UFO is manned by the crew of a ship that was wrecked 200 years ago?
Nothing could be simpler. They're coming here. They're coming now. And I think they want us to go with them.
On the next episode of Canary Wharf.
Let me get this straight. You're trying to tell me that the crew of the Bosphorus, sailors that disappeared in 1793, are alive and well and living on a spacecraft?
Well, it's a difficult concept to grasp, Matthew, but it's what I believe, yes.
And they want us to go with them?
Well, sort of.
It's impossible.
What do you mean?
Well, it's all making rather more sense now, isn't it? The light on the top gallant, that wasn't the transit of Venus at all. That was the light we saw in the photograph that Max took from his window.
Yeah? And the log said it was freezing cold in summer.
Just like my room.
It's impossible. There must be some other explanation.
Well, there may be, Matthew, but I don't think so.
And they want us to go with them. Well, I'm not going with them.
Not with them. More like instead of them.
Instead?
Well, the crew of the Bosphorus are coming home. They need a new crew. The equal number of souls.
So the crew of the Bosphorus were captured by aliens, been kept somewhere for 200 years, and now they're returning. But out of their time, they can't do that.
No, I very much doubt whether they will. See, they'll be returning to their own dimension, 1793. They'll just be passing through our dimension.
How can they do that?
How can they send messages to Jason? How can they cross interstellar space? How can they disco dance all night to strange syncopated rhythms? We don't know, but we have a fantastic opportunity to find out.
This is madness. Ryan, you're living in a fantasy world. Jason writes a few things down after having his headaches, and suddenly you come up with all this.
It's not madness. We still have to receive one vital message that will make everything clear. But then we'll know. That's why, Millie, you must stay with Jason at all times. If we miss anything, it could be disastrous.
If you don't like it, stop thinking about it.
How can I stop thinking about it? You're my only daughter. I'm responsible for your moral well-being.
Moral well-being? God, that's rich coming from you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Ask Annabelle.
Annabelle? What about Annabelle? Listen, I didn't put a finger on Annabelle. Well, not this time around. Until your mother went off with that ball boy from the tennis club.
If I followed your moral example, I'd be a degenerate.
Oh, this is insane. Let's forget it.
Yeah, sure. I will if you will.
I will not forget it. You want to move in with this teenage reprobate, and you don't care whether I approve or not.
Oh, that is not true, Daddy. You know, yes, I'm going to move in with Matthew. But I do care whether you approve or not. You know, I'd hoped this would make you more reasonable and understanding, but no. I see you've still got a lot more growing up to do.
Jenny, I'm your father. I have to worry.
Well, just don't. I can look after myself, okay? Look, Dad, it's not too late. You can still give me your blessing. I'm going to move in with Matthew. I'm determined of that.